Hey y'all, cooking, cutting up, keeping it real. Welcome to my kitchen. Tonight, I'm gonna have leftover pintos, mac and cheese, meatloaf. I'll top it off with cornbread. Now, this is a recipe that I'm gonna combine what I know from my granny's recipe and what I know from my mama's recipe. I'm gonna do a slant on that. So I'll call it Granny Meets Mama. Granny Meets Mama cornbread. I'm gonna start with 2 cups of self-rising cornmeal. Have my oven at 400 degrees and my black iron skillet, I put just enough vegetable in the bottom of it to cover the bottom, and it's heating. All right, I'm gonna have to go back in just for a little bit more here. I keep mine in a Tupperware. Living on a farm, we get some field critters sometimes, and so all of my stored dried goods stays in a airtight thing. I'm gonna open up a can of cream style corn. I don't like to use my fresh corn that I've put up in the freezer for this kind of recipe. Now that's totally up to you, but I'm gonna open up a can of, I think it was 79-cent cream style corn for this Mama Meets Granny's, about said pound cake, cornbread. I'm gonna use a half of this can. This is a 14.75 ounce can. And I'm just gonna do half of that and set it to the side. I'm gonna do 8 ounces of sour cream. This is gonna be really moist cornbread, which I love that. I'm gonna eyeball that. Oh, that got me. Okay. I'm also going to eyeball my wet ingredients, which is gonna be buttermilk. Before I put some buttermilk in there, I'm gonna sprinkle just about a teaspoon of this Texas Pete Dust dry seasoning. It's my new love. Spencer Whitesville, my oldest son's roommate, gave me some of this. They had made pork chops on the grill, and I was like, what is this on here? And he said, have you not tried that? And I was like, no. So I'm gonna put just a tiny bit. Don't wanna overpower it. Just give it a little bit of a zip. I'm gonna grab just a shake of salt, and I'm using pink Himalayan. I'm gonna just do a pinch for my cornbread. And then as I stir, I'm gonna add in 1 egg. One egg. And then I'm gonna add in buttermilk. And I'm gonna eyeball that to get it to the consistency that my granny would have done. God rest her soul. Cornbread is one of those things you can do it a lot of different ways. You can fry it, you can bake it, and you can add your own flair to it. But this is gonna be the flair for tonight's dinner at my house. Mama Meets Granny cornbread. And I'm using a North Carolina made water ground style self-rising cornmeal. Got it at Food Line. I'm gonna put a little bit more of this buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk and you wanna make good old-fashioned cornbread, measure up your whole milk or your 2% milk and add a couple of tablespoons of white vinegar to it, and it will give it the same flavor once you bake it. Okay, I'm gonna go just one more time, just a dub. And you could add jalapenos to this. I've seen people, and I've eaten it, that add broccoli to theirs. But this is gonna be delicious Mama Meets Granny's cornbread. And I will post a picture of that at the beginning of this particular feed. Let me grab my black iron skillet. And I've got just enough oil in it to cover the bottom. We'll give it a swirl carefully because it's hot. And I'm gonna grab my spatula, and I am going to put this mixture into this hot grease. Now I'm gonna bake that on 400 until it is golden brown. Sometimes it'll even crack in the middle, and that is totally fine. But that creamed corn and sour cream is gonna give this, I think, a nice texture and moisture. My mama's cornbread has sour cream and creamed corn in it. My granny's cornbread did not. Into the oven. Thanks for tuning in.